everyone, and welcome to another episode of the NYH podcast. And on this episode, you're joining me in what is soon to be the new studio. As you can see, it is a bit of a work in progress at the minute, but we are getting there slowly. And I thought, why not take this opportunity to do the next intro to the next episode using the facilities that I've got. So, welcome along. Hopefully you can watch the progress of the studio as we go through. I'll try and video as much as I can and put as much as I can up. If you don't already, go and follow us on our social media and you can keep up to date with it there as well. But getting back to this episode. On this episode, I interview my friend Dylan and Andy. They're two bricklayers from Glasgow. And as you can imagine, there's going to be a bit of fruity language in this episode. And viewer discretion probably is advised, because I've taken as much as I can out, but I can't take everything out. But we speak about going in the cold water, getting in the water, how that helps us reset, manages our mental health, and how we use it as a coping mechanism. It is a really, really, really good way of grounding yourself and calming your mind and switching everything else off and just focusing and living in the present. Andy and Dylan speak quite openly and honestly about their past and drug use and how they've changed all that now and what they get up to look after themselves on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and please understand that there is swearing in this episode, but it's all in good faith, and enjoy.
Yeah. And like sandpaper from it, or like a sole of an old boot.
Like a tongue.
Yeah. I need to take 3 mil off this. Just rub your hand over it for us, mate. But how are you feeling after the water?
Mate, great, man. Like I said, it's just, you get in there, man, it just leave all your stresses in the water, come out refreshed, reset. Like we were talking about, it's just the mental battle of staying in, I know, isn't it? Like, just if you can battle that and come out of that and like just going into your rest of your day, you're like, can really do anything, you know what I mean? You're just sat in a freezing cold pool of water, so going forward, what's going to be much worse than that, you know what I mean? So it's like he always says, you can't have a bad day after it, you know what I mean?
I'm fucking knackered. I am fucking tired after it.
This is it, like, I've only ever done it a handful of times. I've not done nowhere near as many as you guys, and I was saying today, the last time I'd done it was with you back in, was it June time, I think I was last
So
up
you would
there.
have noticed that change in the water?
Yeah, it was colder then, but like I kept dipping down and standing up, and then as you go back down, I don't think it's as cold.
It's getting that, it's like thermal regulation, and it's getting your body used to it before you go into it, do you know what I mean? But
you hit a stage where it's freezing, man, but see, once you've got your breath and you're in control of your breath, man, that's when you're like, I can sit here all fucking day.
That's what it's about, really, just connecting to the breath. The cold's just a tool to make you connect to the breath and use it as like your anchor, you know what I mean, to keep you stable, and it's like fucking like anything in life. Bit of stress comes on at work, that feeling again, going into that, like when you go into the water, and then you're like, right, breathe, man, we'll get through it, do you know what I mean? Whereas before you just erupt, before you get that wee catalyst, that wee couple of minutes of mindfulness, really, do you know what I mean? Getting in check with it, whereas before I'm just fucking just erupt right away, do you know what I mean? So it's definitely helped that way, you know, man.
Does it help? You know, like we all have jobs that you have to go and do where you think, I don't want to do this, it's crap, and I know it's an uphill battle to do it, and sometimes you can defeat yourself before you've even set foot out the front door.
100%.
But without doing stuff like that for me, certainly when I've now started doing all the mindfulness and all the work on myself and the realisation and trying to calm myself, Louise will probably say a different story, because I can still flip the lid at anything.
It's a hype, but human, mate.
But I do find myself that I could be doing a job, I'm like, I hate doing this, but instead of losing my shit and getting angry with it and it feeling like hard work, I just resilience and push through.
Go through the emotions, like you say to yourself, it is what it is kind of thing, we'll get there, you know what I mean? One foot in front of the other and just go for it, man. And I think like with the water, that's just something I'd offer us, like out with doing it for any of the reasons, it's just a detach, like meeting up with him on a Sunday morning and just going out, clearing the heat, getting a blether like we did, getting a wee scran after it, you know what I mean, a coffee and that, it's not just the water, it's the whole process of doing it, you know what I mean? Like offloading with your mates and stuff, you know what I mean, getting whatever you need off your chest.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, but with the thing about fucking, because I'm a bit of a procrastinator. You know what I mean? Shit like that will walk away in my head and I'm like, ah, you fucker. So for me, see the water, like, that brings me to the present. I'm not worried about what's happening out with there and, oh fuck, what about this job, and oh, I've got to have that stuff on there, because nothing else matters apart from fucking staying alive and
yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it pure brings me to the present.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah, because that day I live my head down free and I pure procrastinate and think about shit. Like, if you were to draw a fucking line graph, the shit I start off right out of the traps and I'm like, ah, fucking, and then it just starts taking a dive like that. Whereas the water, I just feel myself going back to it, you know what I mean?
I think if you're like that, mate, you make up, like, from, like, you going into any situation, you make up 10 fucking outcomes before you've even hit the fucking ground. So, and half of the outcomes are terrible and you're in heat, I can't do this is going to happen, what if this happens, what if this happens? But you're fucking, everything's just 100 mile an hour in your head, and like she's saying, just drawing it back, man, jumping into there, you can't think like that, you're just, and then you're back to your breath again, which is your anchor, taking you back into yourself, you know what I mean? So I think, like, it's all about getting to the breath when you get into the water, more than anything else, man.
Yeah, because like before we went in, I said, for me, it's that battle against myself of I can stay in a bit longer, I can stay in a bit longer, I can stay in a bit longer. I don't want to just get in and out. I try and stay in as physically as long as I can without it being ridiculous. But it is that battle against yourself and beating yourself all the time, and it does. It's like learning to run a marathon. You have to do it in stages.
So in muscle, they say that, like, it's like training a muscle. So go to the gym. It's like your mind's the biggest muscle in your body. It's your neurological muscle. So if you're training that through willpower, through determination every single day, then you're building up resilience to life. Do you know what I mean? Whereas just like if you're just going through the motions, there's nothing really. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing really you've got as an anchor to pull you away from. Do you know what I mean? But I think with that and all, with the water, it was just an opening up into other things as well. So like, say fucking just other ways of looking after yourself, kind of holistic ways. Doing that then led you into kind of like doing a bit of meditating, maybe doing some yoga, doing some just maybe looking after yourself a lot more. But it all started with just going out and getting into the water for me. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is like looking after yourself is a key one, because people don't realise you've got to look after yourself. I say to people all the time, it's not selfish to be selfish. Take time back for you. Take that 5 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever you need. Or we've had a couple of hours. We've had a belting afternoon. We've finished doing what we were doing, met up, been out, I'd offloaded without even realising we were offloading it, all that sort of stuff. Had a laugh, gone and done that in the water, grounded us, had some nice food, and now we're sat here having a chat again. It's like, I used to do loads and loads of cycling, and I used to think it wasn't, so at first I thought it was the cycling that I used to enjoy, but you know what I used to enjoy the most afterwards? So I could have out and done, I don't know, 80, 90 mile bike ride, and I'll come home, I've had a shower, I've got comfortable clothes on, I'm having something to eat, and I can feel my body repairing itself.
And you feel like you've deserved that chill time.
You
feel like you've earned that, and you feel like almost ready to relax. You know what I mean?
It's time banked, isn't it?
Time
banked,
mate.
it's investing in it, man.
And there's years ago when we were younger, you used to go out and drink and have parties and do whatever you did when you were younger. But for me now, I'd rather go and have an afternoon like we've had today, and that's me sorted.
Aye, mate, definitely.
Scratches an itch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's, as we were speaking about earlier on, it's learning to regulate your own feelings in it, to understand, and then having people run about you to convey that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking been years and years coming. Whereas now people are beginning to break it down a bit and can sit like fucking bit with each other.
It just shows you, not like taking that one thing phase, like taking that, like just going up there and doing that one thing is how basically me and you obviously met on Insta, right? But we met to go and cut up the water and connect. Do you know what I mean? So that's bringing you together with like-minded people above anything else. I know what I mean. So
yeah, this is it. And then you can bring new ideas in, and you can bring new ideas, and then you can say, well, I've had this go on in my life, and I feel all right, and that's happened. And last time I dealt with that situation, and that's what I did. And it starts to bring positivity in your life. And as much as your mind can send you down a wormhole of crap, at the same time it can also bring you out and keep you on that level, and it's learning to maintain it all the time.
That's what you just took the words out of my mouth. It's the maintenance. For me, it's the hardest. I mean, I can fucking be in a rut, right, then get myself good like the mother now, getting back on top, feeling on top, and see, because I'm feeling so good, I end up fucking like going maybe 6 weeks, and then I go, I'm alright, I'll maybe be able to do this, I'll maybe and I fall off the wagon. Before I know it, boom, I'm back, and I need to regroup and restart. Whereas if you can just keep the momentum, stick to your guns and stay strong, and with like-minded people about you, you don't need to go down that other fucking hole that you used to, and you can keep it going rather than falling back and going round the cycle. You know what I mean? Just recycling it every single time. Do you know what I mean?
But then the periods start getting shorter and shorter, you know what I mean? Rather than having to recycle it again, it starts getting shorter and shorter, and then you start getting burnt out, and you're like, what the fuck am I fucking doing here, you know what I mean?
And I've like, you can beat yourself up over it.
100%.
I've done all this work and then I've dropped off. If you have, like we said before, draw a line in the sand, start again.
100%, man.
I think you can, if you don't go like that to yourself, right, what's done's done, let's go. You do your own nutting. When you're trying to get better, you do your own nutting every fucking day. You know what I mean? You're just putting yourself down every time. Whereas if you're like, right, okay, I fucked up, let's fucking, you know what I mean, be responsible for what I've done and move forward again. You know what I mean? Speak to the right people, do the right things, and stop doing the wrong things. You know what I mean?
And it's when you are constantly doing it, you're still learning, you're still evolving. And somebody said to me, like, I used to always beat myself up over the mistakes I'd done in the past. And they said to me, like, you wouldn't beat 4-year-old Rob up for not being able to read properly. I'm 38 and I still can't read properly. But like learning process, you trip over your words, you don't get it wrong. You never used to beat yourself up over it because you're learning all the time.
Mate, that's it, man. It's like if you don't learn, that's what the difference in it, isn't it, mate?
And that's why you got to keep maintaining it and keep doing it. And it's so important to be around the right people, because if you're around people that will go out and party all the time, cool, if that's what you want to do. But if you're at a different stage in your life where you want to start moving away from that scene, it's difficult.
It's weird that you say that. I was actually watching my mate's story the other day. He speaks fucking, it's just raw sense all the time, man. And he was saying, similar to something that we're discussing, right, and he was saying, he's doing talks with schools and he's working with like school wings and other bits and bobs. He's got a gym, never went to college, university and that till he was like 27-year-old, started a business, blah, blah, and basically what he was saying, I thought, do you know what, I pure resonated with it, because I thought, do you know what, you're fucking bang on the money there. He's like, I can't just have like the one thing to fucking like water for God's sake. He was like, so my 3 things, and the way he hinged them, and I thought, do you know what, you're fucking bang on the money there. He's like, I don't get mad with it, I walk my dog and I train. So actually if I go day 3, then I'm relatively grounded, like, you're maybe not going to fucking get one of them all the time, but you've got the other 2 to fall back in. Whereas if you commit solely on the water, it's easy to fall off the wagon. If you're committing solely on this, it's easy to fall off the wagon, do you know what I mean? Whereas try to come and go with a couple.
Mate, that's makes, see when you put it, break it down like that, it makes so much sense, doesn't it, man? If you think about it or not, it's not just the water that's doing it, it's the choice of a lifestyle. So after the water breeds you to eat healthier, breeds you to talk to people, breeds you to fucking be mindful, breeds you to do all these other things. But do you know what I mean? But it all starts with just that one, and then before you know, because like you're saying, one thing's not going to keep you going. You know what I mean? One thing's like so for me, the cold water comes with the gym, because the gym's you go to the gym, train hard. The cold water's also recovery for that, and all. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you're offloading all the shit that's in your heat. So it's fucking.
It's not always been like that for you though, has it?
It's been mad growing up, man. Obviously, just getting about the wrong stuff, young, you know what I mean, without getting too deep into it, and it was just pure normal to me for years, man. I was about 15, about 5 years ago, well, about 4 years ago, but about 5-6 years ago I was starting to screw the nuts, right, starting to think and realise, but aye man, and I mean, it was messy, just parties week in, week out, constantly on it, constantly on the drink, the white, fucking, and then everything that comes with that, staying up, missing work, fucking up things with people, and then after a while, obviously, as I said to you before, when my mate died, that was when I kind of really opened my eyes and went, right, I need to change my ways, you know what I mean, because if I don't, I could be after him. And that's when things kind of hit home, and it's been a rocky road since then, you know what I mean, but I started feeling, I felt at my lowest point after he died, Tony, and after that it was like a up and down, but growing, you know what I mean, learning through pain, and it's been a journey, but I wouldn't be sitting here doing this with you right now if none of that happened, you know what I mean, so we're all here for a reason.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, both good and bad, and if it is a good way to put it, like you feel like you get to a certain level of your life and then you have to step it up and level up or whatever way you want to do it, and it's hard in the moment, and then you sort of get to a level and you're like, all right, I've got this, and then something else will come along and you've got to do it again, and I say all the time, again, it's another cycling reference, but somebody used to say to me, it never ever gets any easier, your times just get better.
Aye.
And that's massive, I think, that you can be pushing yourself all the time and doing stuff. Again, this goes back into the cold water, that battle that you have with yourself, it conditions you and gives you the resilience to keep pushing forward. But do you reckon if your friend hadn't have died, you could have just ended up spiralling?
Aye, mate, definitely. I was unaware of how bad the situation was. It wasn't like I was running about as a bad person. I don't get me wrong, I still always had good morals.
Yeah.
But it was just doing the wrong things and not really even noticing it. Just week in, week out, you know the drill. Friday comes, running about, doing what you need to do without getting in it. And then just like it was repetitive every week. I wasn't even focused in on my job as much because I was running about doing all that. I was just going to work, but I wasn't really there. You know what I mean? And then, but like after Tony took his own life through life situations as well, just struggles, and ultimately killed himself. And after that, I was like, it was an eye opener, because if Tony could do it, anybody can do that. You know what I mean? And since then, it was all about getting myself better, and then finding a way to, like, through Tony's mum and doing other things, try to help others through his name, but then helped me learn how to get myself better. You know what I mean? And I'm not a saint and I'm not an angel, do you know what I mean? But I'm doing a lot better now than I used to be. And this is one of the first couple of years into changing things, so what's it going to be like in a few years if I keep around the right people and you're doing the right things, you know what I mean? So,
did you ever have a tipping point?
I think it was coming for years, but I was in fucking denial, man. Like, I was in right bad denial, and then kept trying to put it off. I tried to chuck the swallow in the powder, no. I think that kind of stemmed from, I'd probably say the army. It's just it's like a fucking thing, just every bunch of mad aggressive drinkers. Finish work, you're stood down, you're fucking 100 mile away from your house. You're not going to travel home to see your missus and your mains, you know what I mean? They fucking sat, right, what we doing? Fuck it, get a bottle. You know what I mean? And it just ended up, so it was one of the ones, don't get me wrong, the fittest alcoholics in the world, fucking squaddies for 17 to 25, you know what I mean? And then, it wasn't even so much, it was a fucking issue, right, but it was the powder, more so the fucking powder than the swally. And then, I realised, or I thought that I realised, that I couldn't drink without it, because I just fucking drink to blackout mode, you know what I mean? I don't have now people can go and do a social pint, a social couple of beers. I never had that in me. I was fucking bang right on it, do you know what I mean? So then that started, and then it was 2 days was turned into 4 days, turned into fucking 10-day benders and all that. And then I think it was a powder, and it's a sort of general consensus up here, every country, they fear this, they fear that, and this word, the fear, floats about, and you think, oh fuck, I've got the fear. When in actual fact, 10, 15 years later on, once I started to screw the nut and turn it around a wee bit, I thought, I'm actually doing this to myself. And see this made up word fear, I'm riddling myself with anxiety and depression through my own choices, like through everybody else. I'm doing this to myself. And that's when I just did too much pain for it, man. Like, I had a young family at the time. I was living in Belfast before I moved back out of the road. I was absent, you know what I mean? And I thought, I don't want to be an absent husband, an absent father. I just did too much fucking pain for it. I'm coming home after however many days on a trot. The Wayne doesn't know, he doesn't understand. You know what I mean? He's only tiny at the time, he's trying to climb out of the tappies, not. And how do you turn around and say to your 2-year-old Wayne, mate, I'm charging out my tits, I've been out for 5 days, get off this couch, mate, till I down. You can't, do you know what I mean? And it was just one of the ones that started to eat me alive, and I was as guilty as fuck about it. And I thought, like, nobody can change this bar me. And then that was it. I just fucking, don't get me wrong, it was back and forth, and kind of falling in and out. And so I went 10 months the first time, no, 8 months it was, 8 months I went without a patsy, man, and then I fell back into it. But because I'd had that 8 month stretch off it, when I fell back in, it was, oh you fucker, that was massive. For example, we used to go out and then constantly go up the road, and because I started leaving these big gaps between it, and then fucking like my pals, no mate, I only do this once, twice, 3 times a year, you're staying out. Which then I was friction with all my pals, and I just thought, this is fucking, I can't do this anymore, do you know what I mean?
The only cunt that can stay up the longest kind of thing, you know what I mean?
And it wasn't even an egotistic thing, it just comes hanging out my nut, because I'm like, fucking running about like a Henry Hoover, like that's happening, you know what I mean?
Not to get after the next party.
So it wasn't even so much as the swally, I was going and sitting with people to drink with them, I wasn't even asked about it as well. It's just because it was socially acceptable to fucking play it out with a big ball of fucking white on it, do you know what I mean? Because, and that is the general consensus. I'm not saying people don't date and people who date are bad people. It's just through my young life choices, I think I learned really, really quick. Like, I didn't need to be exposed to it for all the years because I'm like, I've made a royal cunt of this. Like, I've always had the addict in me, and I'd say even now, I'm still an addict. Like, I've got a heavy addictive personality. It's new. I've realised the older that I've got, I now need to try and take that addiction and use it for the greater good as opposed to, like, fuck, I'm addicted to that. I've been fucked with gambling. Like, the amount of times I've cleaned being fucking mates. Like, see, when I first got out of the army, I couldn't stop fucking gambling, man. I don't know what it was. I thought I was going to get a fucking clean break or something. And, do you know what I mean? I need one lucky spin and I'm fucking... It was fucking ridiculous in hindsight. But the amount of times, like, I remember sitting in my fucking work one day, man. I worked for, when I first got out of the army, I got a job with John Lewis, right? I remember the woman in fucking, she was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to go, like, this is before I go to the job. It was an agency, and I wasn't properly out of the army yet, so it was just to fill a gap. And I was like, I want to go to work with Clean Cleans on. She's like, what? I said, I want to go to work with Clean Cleans on, like, I want to go to work with a suit on. Because I was fucking used to crawling about you know what I mean? So I remember going, I'd used my handling credits to do this stupid computing course, right? And it was only for 2 weeks after my work. I know how to work a computer relatively fucking good. I only wanted to go and do this to get off my work. And fucking, that got me a tick in the box for, I went and worked for John Lewis, and I worked for their email team, right? It was fucking class, man. But I remember sitting in there, I found out a quick way of doing the job, right? Without boring you in the fucking thing, I found out a quick way of doing the job. So in that 8 hours I had to answer however many emails. Every cunt else was clicking on the email. As soon as you clicked on that, you were hit for it. Whereas I found a different way to go through the emails. As soon as I clicked it, I wasn't then, that didn't fall into my caseload. So I was going through and picking all the easy ones. Well, what time does John Lewis in fucking Newcastle open? I'm like, yeah, coke, you've done it, see you later. So I was rattling through all my fucking emails that I had to hit my fucking KPIs. Battering all them through. I was sitting for 7 hours, my feet up with a brew, man. So then I'm sitting there and I'm like, fucking doing a number in my head because I worked for the man. I'm like, I've got to sit here to get this door. Sitting there fucking spinning, and I'll never forget, man, I took us to the fucking cleaners, our bills are fuck all had came after it, man. And we weren't fucking well off, like we weren't at all. I'd only just got out of the army, do you know what I mean? I was fucking pratted. I think we had about £2,700 in the bank, man, and I spun the fucking lot, man. My work finished at 10 o'clock and I was still sat in the toilet at 11 like that. How do I tell her that I've done this again? Because I've done it about 8 times at this point. I'm like, how the fuck do I tell her? I'm like, tell her, I've made a cunt of this again, man. I went to fucking Gamblers Anonymous, I've been to fucking NA, I've been to AA meetings, and then it was just, so I'm an addict at heart, it's just trying to fucking find good shit,
direct it in the right way.
That's exactly what I was trying to say there, direct it in the right way as opposed to a channel that I'm just going to end up fucked and fucking everything about, you know what I mean?
Like you said that, man, on that note, like, with me it's fucking, I hadn't been, I'm not by all means been off it, like I've said to you. I've been like, I enjoy a beer, but there, I'd stayed away from it for a good while, and then it was just a case of maybe going out every maybe 8 weeks, out for a drink with Kirsty or whatever, which was brilliant, doing that, and maybe obviously still getting on it here and there on the powder now and again, but no anything major. But then, up a wee while ago, it was just a case, like went for having a couple of beers, we moved up here, and I was going down to the shop, and the shop's just there, in the shop, grabbing a 4-pack, building a wee unit, 4 beers down, and I'm going, I could go a wee hingy, or a 4.5 ticket, and then that's me, and I kind of go back into a rut, up until fucking a few weeks ago. It was only a couple of weeks spell, maybe 3 or 4 weeks spell, but that was enough for me to go, I can't do this anymore, do you know what I mean? So now that's where it's got me, like, it's kind of almost, I've got the worry to now will I go for a beer, will I go and have a beer, because I know that maybe my willpower's not going to be there when I have that one, do you know what I mean? So
just taking yourself out of the scenario before, so that you don't have to make that choice.
Especially coming up to getting into this time of year again now, and this is like coming to this time where I would normally be out boom all the time, man, right, like Christmas do's and stuff, just running up to Christmas and like arranging parties for Christmas and all that, and now I'm like, oh fuck man, will I know, do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to end up body eating it, but I still want to socialise with people that I care about, do you know what I mean? So
it's like when we went down to Weymouth at the beginning of the year, when you came down, you took yourself out, you came out for a little bit, didn't you, and then took yourself out of the scenario. So maybe you could do stuff like that.
I was over the hill to a certain degree, but at that point, like through personal experience, so I've been 2 years on August the 8th there.
Well
so
done.
August past was 2 years. See, for the first, I'd say maybe 18 months, I couldn't put myself in any positions. Because I knew I've got the fucking breakfast in a Kit Kat, know what I mean? So I'm out there and I'm like that. What's that smell like? So it took me fucking ages, like, and but see, by that point, like as I said, like I'd had enough, I wanted to at that point, but it wasn't so much a fucking thing, it was because I didn't want to put myself in that position. I didn't want to fucking, like I had right bad anxiety about feeling like that again, like waking up and fucking being like that, because I used to no sleep, man, like everything that I swallowed was caffeine fucking high. As I was saying, I was fucking drinking egg out a bottle of Red Bull, drinking egg out a bottle of wine, filling the fucker up with Red Bull. Know what I mean? You're fucking double drinking caffeine. And then fucking having a fat slug on tap in it, know what I mean? Running about like fucking Pablo Escobar's point. It's fucking madness. So it was just, for me, I have to take, and especially doing Weymouth and all that, but more so because that was on you and it was on your faces and all that.
Yeah.
So my own pals, I can go out with and I can mingle with because I'm like, here's to him, he's doing my fucking head in, everybody understands that. Whereas see doing the Weymouth, because it was all new faces, I'd end up rolling about with some
Get back into old fucking old guys and off, you just entertain it, you know what I mean?
100%, man, but it's definitely a fucking, it's an art that you need to fucking come and go with until, like, I know I can fucking, like, I'll never put myself in that position again, and I can actively go out and sit, like, if you've got to fucking get a swallow now and have a beer, like, I'm good with that, like, I'm over the hill with it now. I think maybe at Weymouth I was still sort of teetered on the thing, like, I can go out and sit a full night out now, I can go out and fucking, whereas before, I'd go out, after an hour I'd be like, fucking climbing the walls, man, get me to fuck. There's only so many fucking...
Only one thing, you're going to go home, you're going to get on it.
And I know yourself, I've got, no, can I juice, mate? I just go, mate, I've drank 18 cans of cola, I've been here 10 minutes, get to fuck. So it's just, and you know yourself, when bastards when they're mad, we'd start getting louder and say, oh, fucking, just sit there like, fucking, and then everyone's staying when I look at it now, I think, because I know what I was like, I've seen videos of me and things that makes my fucking skin crawl, man. You see videos of yourself and then see when you're sitting fucking right on it and you think, is that as bad as that, man?
I've got a few videos I could show you, but I won't even have them on the podcast. Me and I beef, man, just fucking, honestly, absolutely.
On the casting couch. Tangerine. Dealing up from Bracknell.
You're joking, this way. But I, man, fucking, it's just obviously about making small changes and all, man, and nothing, do you know what I mean? Roma's about a day, so if you, and it was like you said and all, it's the beating yourself up, like, see if you do fall off the wagon a wee bit here and there, fucking don't do your nothing, just get back to basics, which for me is quite a fucking common saying to myself, back to basics, but basics could just be going through the motions in the morning, getting up and giving yourself a couple of things that you know you can do, but the sense of achievement for doing it feels good, do you know what I mean? And
celebrate the small wins.
Aye, mate.
People think that you have to have all these, the big house and the big cars and all that, but the victory for you, or the win for the day for you, could be getting out of bed.
100%.
Definitely, man.
But then again, like, especially, this has obviously been thingied for social media, you know what I mean? And it's one of the ones you're lying there in bed and you're fucking comparing the on social media with the fucking Bentley, the fucking 25 grand kettle hanging off in the rest of that, do you know what I mean? So it's hard to compete with shit like that, and it's fucking...
It's accepting the fact when you go there and all, like, see when you're comparing that and you're going, how can I get there, and then you're going, oh right, fucking, he's doing this, how can I not be, how am I not doing that? I'm, you know what I mean, I'm the same age as him, that's one thing I would do, I would compare myself to people roughly my age and go, he's fucking bought a gaff, he's got this, he's got that, I'm still fucking sitting in my mom's fucking sticking fucking white up my nose every fucking weekend, do you know what I mean? But you just need to do you, do you know what I mean? We're all, it's no race, life isn't a race, we're all
it's not linear, there's no handbook that says this is how you have to do it, and it could be up and down, left, right, backwards, forwards, just whatever works for you, and just go. I think as well, learning to be patient.
One thing I can say, I've always had good, like, say, like with my man and dad and all that, I've always had, that's always been a good thing with it, like with getting, like, leaving school and getting to work with my dad and all that kind of shit. That was good because that's what kind of started teaching me life, do you know what I mean? I still was daft as anything, but like as you get older and you're around all older people and you get out and work and you're, you know what I mean, you're away from the people going, oh fuck it, let's do this, fuck it, let's do that, and you know what I mean, and you start kind of wisening up a wee bit.
It's maturing.
Aye, that's it, it's just growing up, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, and I always feel with myself, right, I think I was quite mature with the way I did things. Like I worked for myself from the age of 21, something like that. But I think emotionally, I'm only just starting to mature now.
Because you hide away from that, because inside of yourself, mate, do you know what I mean? You can shut off for that because that's what I've been taught today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big boys don't cry and all that sort of
Even
stuff.
at school and that, I mean, how much times you're like that fucking, you're feeling like all caught up in your own head, but you're just cutting about with a pure bravado, like, you know what I mean? Just because that's the way it's just portrayed to be as a guy, you know what I mean? And it's a sad world, but hopefully, like you said, the work you're doing, and the work that, like, even just sitting here talking like this, you know, people start talking, mate, you can see what the kind of ripple effect you've had across the whole of social media at the now. Never mind it going into the next steps and then people taking it and branching out and talking to other people in their communities, and it just, because this is just the beginning, you know what I mean? And it's fucking, it's special, mate, do you know what I mean? To see, even to be sitting talking like this instead of just sitting fucking hiding behind your real feelings. You know what I mean, mate?
And that's exactly it. And I think as much as the crap that I went through, and I never went down the drug and alcohol route, I just buried myself in work and turned into a miserable bastard and didn't want to deal with anything else that was going on in my head, and I tried to make up for all my mistakes by overworking and pushing everything else out. And I never ever thought it'd get to this point, the way it is now, and exactly like you said, that people are now setting up their own pages to do it and keep themselves going. And then there's Craig, he's another Glaswegian, he set up one called the Football and the Blues, so he's a lot like yourself, and he's now a teetotaler. And he,
you're going to say a baldy bastard.
handsome baldy bastard. He's teetotal now, and he's set up a podcast, but he's done it around mental health and football because he's a massive Rangers fan, and he's got it in a pub. He sits in a pub and gets people to come in and talk about.
If all the places to do it, the pub's probably a place where guys are choking to talk real life stuff. But it never gets discussed.
Especially like a couple of jars and you man in there and you're fucking spilling your heart out.
I think a lot of the times I know you get I know obviously some people for the drink just can't happen, but see a lot of times if you're no body eating the drinking, like mixing that with a pub is a great thing to do, because you're taking the stigma of I can't drink and do it and preach about this stuff. I mean, the people drinking's it's just when you're fucking body deep in it week in week out, then it becomes like, you know what I mean, bad. But that could help, like him doing that is helping people speak, sitting in a pub, calm as fuck, no having any stresses, and just blethering away, just listening to it, you know what I mean?
I've had about 4 or 5, maybe a few more messages. How can you preach about mental health when you sat in a pub? I'm like, I don't have a problem with drug. I don't have a problem with drink. I do that. My mental health came from other directions, and I was trying to explain to him that I totally get that some people it can cause that. But if we can sit in these environments, and hopefully people won't have to drink to hide whatever they're going through, they can go and have a social drink, and they can get to that stage in their life. And it's all subjective and individual to everybody. Some people might not be able to go to certain environments, like family and friends and whatever, because of that gives them anxiety and affects their mental health. Like you were talking about you drinking to get away from stuff. Is that coming from early life then, do you think? Or have you even gone down that road yet?
I don't know. My wife's a mental health nurse, right? She's believe it or not, she's actually an addictions nurse, right? But she wasn't. I think, no, I'm not saying that, I think that pointed her in the direction of that career, right? So I've been with my wife 16 years and I'm only 31. So I've been with her at fucking school, do you know what I mean? We've spent maybe our adult life together and we fucking haven't, do you know what I mean? I don't think, she's obviously clued up to fuck, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm a mad fucking mental health guru or fucking expert. I just have my own personal fucking takes on it, do you know what I mean? She's threw a couple of things in the mix that I'm like that. So again, without getting the fucking violins out. So like, as we were actually talking about this earlier on, so I only lived with my biological mum till I was 11.
Right,
and then I went into foster care.
Right, okay.
So I stayed with two different foster parents, And then I actually got my own house when I was 16. I was
Right.
15 in 10 months, to be honest. I got the keys for my own house.
It was that tattoo you had on your arm, wasn't it?
That was it. I was like 15-year-old.
Keys.
400 snout and 19 bottle of wine, mate. What ID? Fucking, but I don't know if it was, like, I didn't grow up in a house of drink or that when I was younger. My granny was a heavy swallow merchant, man. She was fucking scudding bottles of Mary down like they were going out of fashion. But, like, for example, my biological mom, she doesn't drink. Like, and I don't know why, I don't know fucking anything about that, because I only really experienced 11 year of life with her, and then I'm like, fucking catch it, do you know what I mean? So, I think Rachel seems to think I've never been diagnosed, I've never went and sat and spoke to anybody, but Rachel seems to think it's sort of down the line of fucking childhood trauma, etc, etc. But, again, like, I thrive off that shit. Like, I love that shit, I love that shit. No, I love like shit that happened to me, but I love to be able to look back and say, well, fucking look at me. I love to push on and fucking
adversity, man.
When people are like, oh, but I've done this and that and fucking blah blah blah. Like, I'm not a massive fan of the pity party, you know what I mean? I'm like, get back in the fucking horse and ride it, do you know what I mean? That is what you make it. So I don't know if it kind of hanged for that, and it wasn't even, it was just, especially the drinking anyway, it was 100% a fucking squaddy thing, man. Like, I think a lot of young boys in the army get failed, whether it's with like financial help, fucking addiction, shit like that, because I think if you were to do a sort of general consensus, say young men in the army, hundreds of them are riddled with drink, drug, fucking money
I think
problems.
even out way that army, Andy, like nowadays, man, especially it's get worse and worse and worse, especially up here, Glasgow, Scotland and that, but see the young boys coming up, being bang on the white, man, like right away, just before, and it's really strong stuff. Boys are sticking up their nose and then they're wondering how they've no money, how they're crippled with anxiety, how they're crippled with, as we call it, the fear. And it is just all down to like the lifestyle choice, but you're just, everybody's doing it, so you're that caught up in doing it
to
you
fit
don't
in.
even know, man. It's just normal to do it. It's less normal. You feel you're an outcast if you don't do it, you know what I mean? And then like growing up and fucking it just kind of spirals, it stems into you get older, you know what I mean? You either wisen up, or some people just like doing it and stay doing it, you know what I mean? And fucking...
Do you think, like we spoke a lot about cocaine on this, and Glasgow's got a reputation through... like the things like train spotting brought on and stuff like that. Do you think it's taken over? Yeah, do you think it's taken over from heroin and all that?
Well, see, there's an actual Vice documentary I watched it was actually a guy my work sent me it, man. He's like, look at this, and it was Glasgow is the cocaine capital of Europe now.
Really?
And it's like all these, it's just interviewing young boys and only maybe just coming out of traps and they're fucking like running about selling ounces at fucking, do you know what I mean? And it's just that it's that rife. If people are going out the night out, they're phoning 3 gram. It's just so normal. The pint and the gram comes hand in hand. So you're not going out for a £3.50 pint. You're going out for a fucking 103.5. You know? And buying the gram, you've ticked the gram. You've not got any money to pay it. Like, not necessarily me. I was always good with the fact that I had a job and I was earning alright money, and I wasn't really buying a lot of it because I had it at disposal at times. But like, you can just see how young boys especially end up in that rut, and they're no one to let on that they've not got any dough because they're looking at their pals like that, look at this watch, look at that, do you know what I mean?
It's just ego, man. I think that's what I've learned too, man. Like, a lot of that part of my life, I cared so much what other people thought. Like, see, when you hanged that there, it's no till we went on a bit and I thought, do you know what, something fucking did click here, man. Like, see, when I look back at fucking like my early years of life, I've always been a mad attention seeker, but I was always like at school, I was always a band that was fucking fucked out of class, suspended all the time, fucked away to a different school because I was a wee dick on it. So I think I always craved that attention for somewhere, do you know what I mean? I think I always craved it for somewhere, and then it was other people's it was their validation that I'm saying, do you know what I mean? Oh, fuck, you think I'm funny, you like me?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it fucking was. And then, you know yourself, you just end up in a bigger social circle, and then that's just the norm.
You get known to be, Andy's mad, he's off his head, he'll do all this and do that. Get Andy to do it, Andy will be the one that'll do it.
And you're the fucking dickhead standing there, what do you want me to do?
That at the time, but and all, like, so I've got a good bunch of mates, right, like boys that I've been very close with and I've been lucky to have through, like, say, a young age, like Tony, he was my best mate for the primary 7, my pal Peter, Craig and Calvin, and obviously Quinny and that day, but they, like growing up with them, it wasn't like I would hang about with them, then I would jump about different groups as well. See, party, my pals always look,
Pure screen jump.
like I would jump, more or less I jump about, like say, just different parties, because when mine would finish, I would be out and about, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And you just become that cunt, everybody knows that you're like a party, you're that guy that will be at a party, you'll be up, you know what I mean, you'll be in the kitchen dishing out the patches and that, and you feel good for it. And then like I just remember like being doing my mate's house at fucking like 7 in the morning or something, and be like, I've ran out of gear, and like charging up to my house, man, into my wee punch bag in my room like an o'clock on the way back to the again, man, and just dishing it out again, and that just went on for so long, you know what I mean? So I think
I wish you were pals there,
well,
man.
it was aye man, it was wild, man, and then obviously getting older, you still get your moments, don't you? Like nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, and that's it. Nobody is perfect.
and then on the note after Tony, the like starting Tony's Safe Place was massive, man, because that was then pushed us into learning about how people's functioning, how people are. I remember going, it wasn't long after Tony passed away, me, Tony's mum and my pal Calvin went and done this thing called Assist. Have you probably
By Papyrus.
it's like applied suicide intervention.
Yeah.
And I've actually got the wee card in my wallet still, the wee thingy card, and going to that, I thought, fuck this, I'll not take anything out of this, man, and I went, and that was like, instead of tiptoeing around the taboo of mental health, or tiptoeing about asking somebody, are you feeling suicidal, are you feeling like killing yourself? I used to think treading eggshells, like no speak of it, and think it'll go away, when it's the opposite. It's in fact the opposite that will help, do you know what I mean? And I remember no long after that, it was fucking weird, I was driving down at Real Spice down there, went down picking Indian up, and I was driving back, my mate Craig in the motor. Is it Craig? Anyway, I look up, he's like, did you see that there? And I'm like, no, it was Craig. So he's like, turn back round, there was somebody standing on that bridge, and I fucking went back round, there was a wee lassie standing, just climbed the bridge, mate. I drove right up round onto the overpass, and she was at the other side, and I just ran over and just grabbed her, and me and my mate pulled her back over the thingy. She sliced all her arms open to fuck. She was absolutely fucked, and and I think if I hadn't done that course, I would have fucking bottled it. Do you know what I mean? I would have bottled it to grab her, I'd say it into her, and we got her the bridge, we got her over the other side of the bridge, and the ambulance and that came, and that's what they were saying. I don't know if she was got to jump, but she tanned all her arms to fuck, and she was in a bad way. And that was about 2-3 weeks after doing that course, and I think if I'd never went to that and really realised, right, we need to act on this, I don't know if I'd even had the bottle to go back up and see her, do you know what I mean, and grab her, man. So that's one thing I took away from that, and ever since then, the lassie kept in touch with me for ages. I was going up to, obviously, I won't be saying names and that, but I was going up to Cumberland social work and like going up to the office and asking about her, and then they were sending us reports on her and that to Tony's Safe Place, and we were kind of trying to keep an eye on her through that, do you know what I mean?
That's class.
That's phenomenal work, that.
And I reckon if I hadn't been a bit like, fuck it, let's go, do you know what I mean? I hadn't done that and realised, I think I would have shot myself, and I would have felt, and then I would have like maybe regretted, it could have been another statistic, do you know what I mean? And it's fucking, so it just shows you, man,
it does work.
It does, man, and that's why, like you're vigilant, aren't you? No matter what's going on, you're vigilant, even like say with people in work and that, like he's not right, he's not acting himself, or he's not, do you know what I mean? And you start trying to dissect him a wee bit rather than just going, he's a prick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that especially the construction industry, it's really bad for get rid of him. Get rid of him. He's a waste of time. Like I was helping somebody out a couple of weeks ago, and they fair dues to one of the managers. They messaged me on Facebook, and I don't really get any messages on Facebook really. I've had about 3 or 4 over the 2 and a bit years that the Facebook page has been going. They said to us, we've got this guy at work, and I think there's something going on, but work want me to get rid of him. What should I do? And I was like, ask him. Ask what is going on. And he did. It turns out he was in the middle of a divorce, and his wife or his ex-partner was holding the kids ransom, and he didn't know what to do. He couldn't handle it, so that was having a massive knock-on effect in work, and he was turning to be ratty, horrible. He was not performing properly, and once the work found out that, fair dues to him, they helped and paid for a bit of legal advice, did that, got it all smoothed out, and now he's back in work, and he's continuing to work, and he's back to where he used to be, whereas before people are so easy to get rid.
I think it was old school mentality back in the days. Man up, that man up shit, man, is fucking like, man up, we're fucking only humans, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, man, it's like, hurry up, like what till the ambulance comes, fucking all that shit, all that old school bullshit, do you know what I mean? And it just doesn't wash anymore, it can't wash, you know what I mean?
Times have changed. Times are evolving.
Aye, mate.
I remember starting like in the construction industry. You could smoke in the cabins, and they'd have page 3 models everywhere up on the wall and all that sort of stuff. And the industry realised we need to update and go with the times. And I think it's getting like that with the mental health side of
I think
things.
it's always been there too. Like obviously not to the extent now where social media's got a massive part to play in people's demise of their mental health, but see really in all honesty, I bet you back in the day when all like say like my granddad's time and all that, this was still needed. It just wasn't done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It probably would have been done in the pub.
Aye.
But the pubs are all shutting down though, aren't they? Because nobody goes out. The drivers sit in the living room, like you were saying before. How many times have you said you were going from house to house to house to house?
Aye, no pub to pub to pub.
Yeah. And that's where it could have been, because you can like going to house to house to house. You're seeing familiar faces and friends and stuff, and sometimes you don't want to offload that.
Aye.
And you go to a pub, you can meet an absolute randomer, get rid of everything that's inside you, and then crack on with it. Whereas that culture's dying out, I think. I think people were talking without even realising they were talking and offloading.
And there's you're no deloading anything anymore.
Yeah.
You're like a sponge, and there's only one way that's going to go into it. You're going to you're just going to soak yourself with shite, you know what I mean? And like, see, even doing this, like sitting talking like this, you don't even realise the shit that you're talking right now, right? And then you're like, man, like you're just like, and you start feeling these old emotions and that as you're talking about this. But it's regulating, it's helpful, you know what I mean? Even doing this now for other people, but for ourselves talking about it, it's really, really helpful to know, do you know what I mean?
This is it. I never realised, and then I did an interview with another mental health charity, and the woman's like, you do realise you're doing this is your therapy, don't you? And I was like, I never thought about it that way. I was like, yeah, you know what, it is. And I absolutely love it. Like, used to bang on about bricklaying. For me, if I never laid a brick again, I'd be fucking sound with it. It doesn't bother me. But if I never did this again, I wouldn't be able to cope. This is what I've now, as much, I still love bricklaying, don't get me wrong, I still love it. But I feel like that period in my life is coming to an end. And this is taking over.
This is your new door.
This is my new door and the new passion that I have for it. And I absolutely love it. I never ever get bored of it. I woke up this morning and I thought, like, with a head full of ideas, and I'll write them down, and I'm constantly thinking of new ways of getting the message out there and try and get it in a way. Like I did that reel the other day about driving your van, because
that belter, mate.
Because it just popped to my head. I thought, I used to sit in my van and chew shit over in my head.
Mate, do you know, I noticed that my brother-in-law, Mark, Kirsty's wee brother, obviously he's not even, he's in the building trade, but he's doing an apprenticeship in like a gas engineer now, so obviously he's doing the pipe work and all that. Anyway, it was him, I clicked his story and he shared your reel, and that's how I clicked that reel to find it, and then you know what I mean? I seen that through Mark. So it just shows you the fucking snowball effect. I love it.
With you saying before that Rach is a mental health nurse, I think the very first message you sent me, it jigged the memory in my head then. That I think the first message you sent me was you were working with someone and you could see they were struggling, needed a bit of help, and I sent you a load of information over. You know, this is amazing, I never knew it was there. I sent you a load of stuff for the lighthouse, and you went, my wife's a mental health nurse and all that, and it just jogged the memory on it then. So we've been talking, it's weird how you can recall memories sometimes. And I was stood outside my mate's house, of course, he got me in to do this TV unit thing. I was like, why am I doing this? I was doing a load of joinery, it looked like Homer Simpson had done it. But and then you messaged me and that's what it was. So that was a year ago.
Is that how long you have been chatting? Like you've met? Is that when you started talking then?
It'd be a year ago now.
I must have been, sorry, I don't know when you go.
Because I show Rachel constantly, right, so she's working in addiction now, right, but it was weird because when she essentially served her time doing that, so she followed me about my full army career, and then when we came back, that's when she went to uni and done that, so she'd hundreds of fucking experience because she'd done hundreds of care jobs and stuff like that, so I think she went straight, and she'd done, I think at college as well, so she went straight into uni second or third year, but it was one of the ones, like, Rachel I would say is quite reserved, like I wouldn't see her, I know what addicts are like, I mean, I know what addicts are like first hand, and I thought, she'd be a bit, like, I just, personally I didn't see her in that job role, she's went, she's done it, she's fucking flagging, but I think now, see, after having another baby and stuff like that, we've actually spoke hundreds about mental health and construction and blah blah blah, I don't know if it will definitely hang, but she's looking to maybe start a range at a charity to bring something in, because again, when I was rolling before I re-rolled, like before I re-hanged the business, rebranded the business and all that, and I was wanting hundreds of bodies, and that's where in my mind I seen that going. I thought, I've got hundreds of bodies in, and then if she can help it. So it's still early days and still on tip-tapping about, but I don't think she'll stick the full addiction thing.
Do you think with that, mate, was a big catalyst for Rachel getting into that through you and your own experiences in life? That she sat and witnessed and watched you going through all that?
Because I don't think people realise the effect that it has on somebody's partner.
Definitely.
A million %, especially with her following me about, right? So my full army career, she followed me about. So wherever I moved and get based, she came with me and just picked up a job. It wasn't a career-based thing, it was a job to bring dough into the fucking house. Do you know what I mean? Whereas then once I got out and then she went and spent that time to do that, I don't know if it's been contributing factors or if that's solely been she's a really, really kind person, really kind-hearted. She just likes looking after people. Like, see, every year come Christmas, every single year come Christmas, she goes up, there's a hang at Easter house just round the corner for us, and it's Wayne's, it's got fuck all, and you get in and you pick the stuff up, and it says like 2 boys, 7 and 8, a girl, 3 and all that. She'd buy the Wayne's something before she'd better sell something, do you know what I mean? So she's always about getting back and helping people and that. So I don't know if that had a contributing factor towards it, or it's just fucking she's just fucking golden, man. If you're watching this,
shout out.
That's a brownie point. Sorry, tip.
Oh wait, that was
Quick, get the birthday card.
No, you stuck in there, do it. But aye, man, it's been good to honestly even just getting together with you boys a day and fucking what's been alright, but the past couple of weeks it's been like I've been from one subject to the next, but it wasn't permanent, so it's been a wee bit of that way uncertainty in your head and you're overthinking things and that. You're a wee bit, oh, am I going to pull in this week, or am I going to do this? That's why that video meant a lot to me when I watched it. And you're kind of worrying, and even sitting watching the TV at night, you're like, you're trying to keep the squad in work, you know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, it's going to come in. Don't get me wrong, it all came out and it's all worked out fine, but the day, like going back to that was my first proper day back on that site, and then coming away from that site today and coming and meeting you is just like, it just been a good clear head, you know what I mean, head clear. Then get in tomorrow, sat and had a good blather with yous, and then I'm fucking just ready to go again, you know what I mean? It's brilliant, man. It's been good.
It's good to reinforce it that because it's a Friday night now, when it come Friday nights when you start getting a text message, fancy beer, fancy this, fancy that.
Aye, mate.
Whereas if you're in a good zone, you're like, nah, I'm good.
Aye. It's the feeling, I think, that one week for me, the kind of breaking it within the week. So see when it's week in, week out, gets to the Friday, there could be fuck all happening, but you've got that wee Friday feeling, that wee itch to go get a beer, then the beer, for the beer stems, go and get all the things. But then if you can blanket 1 week, then you're rolling into your next week, you're like, I don't need to do that, and then it just carries on and carries on. You gain a bit of momentum going the opposite way, as opposed to when you've got momentum when you're ball deep in it, you know what I mean? So it's like getting good momentum as opposed to the bad momentum that brings. So
yeah, I definitely get that, because like when I used to work for someone, I worked for a mega company, they were great to work for, but I always used to think, you used to look forward to Friday and having the weekend off, whereas now it's just another day in the week.
And that's the way you should look at it. Every day's got the potential to be the best day, you know what I mean? Every single day. It doesn't have to be the weekend, it doesn't need to be, it's up to you how you look at things, you know what I mean? It's how you perceive it really, innit, man?
It's that flexibility in it. It's a flexibility, because I think, like you just been touching on that when you worked for that company and it was fucking hangy, like I think there's a difference with working for the man and working for yourself. And then I think once you start to, for me anyway, again it was so money orientated when I first left the army. I went to Tingy, and then before I'd even been on a building site, you can £1,000 a week and all, and you're out and you're chasing it and you're wanting this, you wanted that, and something really resonates that we had a chat about and you said it, and I swear to God it stuck in my mind for fucking ever after it. If you remember, we walked out the motor, we had a wee blather at the motor at the boot, we walked back, I remember we were talking about fucking money and about how many bodies I was trying to pull in at the same time and all that, and Axel said to us, he said, money comes and goes, and I'm very, very cautious that time is the only valuable currency we've got, like so cautious of it. Again, hence why I chucked at Swally and all that, because I'm like, all I'm doing is blurring that bit of time.
Stealing your own time off yourself, man.
Do you know what I mean? And he said out loud, man, it was, what was it, time comes and goes, but
No,
not money comes and goes,
money
sorry.
comes and goes.
But times you'll never get back.
Time you'll never get
That
back.
fucking shoot me to the core, man. I thought, oh, you fucker, man.
Money comes and goes, memories last forever.
There's a great thing on that note, man. There's a great, you've probably heard it, man. It's like one of your motivational podcasts. Sorry, not like something you would listen to in the gym and that.
Yeah.
And there's one and it says like, when you're on your deathbed, it's like you're not going to sit there and remember all the fucking Saturdays you worked or all the times that you went out and got mad with. You're going to remember like the meaningful things, like you holding your weigh for the first time, or like having a
Dropping the weight for the first time.
You know what I mean, like that, and
Aye.
it hits, like you're talking about, time is fucking precious, and every time you do something that's no benefiting yourself in a good way, you're stealing your own time. You're stealing time off your own life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just fucking, when you put it like that, why? Do you know what I mean? Why make yourself feel miserable? That's a bit of fucking a day you're never getting back. You know what I mean? But it's easier said than done. You know what I mean? And it is easier said than done. So
it is, and we have days where you do sort of waste the day and you sit and watch TV all day, and that's absolutely fine. But it's when you find yourself like, I haven't done nothing, I've just gone to work and come home and sat here for weeks on end. Then you think, right, I need to do something. You need to get out and you need to get active. And I think outside, I know we were speaking about walk before, but I think just being outside,
connecting to nature.
it's a massive thing for me. I could now, because I'm doing less and less brickwork, I'm doing more and more of this. Like I'll be sat editing this, and I can lose myself. I can lose hours. Just the clock will be just going round because I'm so engrossed and focused on trying to do this and trying to learn. Because I don't know how to do any of this. It's just slowly learn. And I find myself like, I've not been outside all day. And I need to get outside every day. I'm lucky where I live. I can go out my front door and my house is a lot like, you know, where we went with the water today. That's the view that I get from my house. So I can go out my house and I can go and do that. And there's some people that can get lost working in an office. Even in the construction, you could turn up every day, go out your car and go up to the offices up on site and never come out on site because I think if you don't get outside at least once a day and just connect with outside and being there, going out and smelling the air.
Aye, mate, it's like we're fucking just bringing it back to the whole primitive stuff. Like you're meant to, you're a creature of nature. You're meant to be outside. You're meant to be. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to be connecting with outside. I mean, we're not built to sit cooped up, staring at four walls every day and fucking sitting in front of a computer every day. I think with the bricklaying, that's where we're quite blessed that way. Like you can be out hands on, going like being mindful because throughout the day you're you know what I mean. You're using your body, you're using your head, you can through a lot of things that you would do if you were maybe going to go a run or go to the gym. Or so you've got that aspect in bricklaying, but you can then go too deep and you can be that engrossed in the bricklaying that you're not looking after. You're not going for a break. You're not Like the other day I was at work and I had loads to do, so I was like, well, we won't have a break. But you get to like 2 o'clock and you're ratty as fuck, man. You're no stopped. You're like anything that somebody says, you're fucking. Do you know what I mean? You snap, and it's just everybody needs a break, whether it be for work, for life, for anything. But you need that break, that downtime, that time to reset, re-go and start again, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Like I've said this over and over and over and over again. I used to go and when I came back from having a bit of time off, and I started looking after myself better. Like this one particular job I was on, before 10 o'clock I had over 120 phone calls, and I was worn out before the day had even started really. And just this one day I came up, like I switched my phone off, I put it in my drawer in my desk, shut it, and I disappeared. And I went and I knew a scaffold had just been struck, so I went and swept the floor, and that allowed me to rest my mind, stop, not think about it, and I could do a task and see I achieved something. So it's clean the floor and all that sort of stuff, and it just allowed me to reset. And
so just going instead of you're taking yourself from here and getting into your body. Like I think like when you look at things, man, you shouldn't be on your living in your head all the time. There's times you should just be feeling, like, you know what I mean? You should just be able to, like, for instance, going into the water, like you're saying, brushing, something that you can be mindful of doing, but it's taking your thoughts away from your own fucking shite in your head. And I think, like, when you go back to the water, that's a massive tool for that, because that's stripping you, like, you can't think of the shite, you know what I mean? You could, but it's not going to do you any good when you're in there. So
The Anderson hits it in the heat button, into your body with it needs, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking bang on.
Aye, mate.
And it resonates with what I was saying about that boy, I know. The 3 things that he needs. He needs
Yeah.
to walk his
Aye.
dog, he needs to not get mad with it, and he needs to...
I know you're talking about, man.
Aye, but Mark.
Aye.
So,
I've got a
do you know what I mean?
follow.
Like, and that's it in a fucking nutshell, like, it's fucking...
Aye.
it's just-
I speak to a lot of people, and like they'll be saying to me that I've got this going on in my life, I've got that going on in my life, and they could have fallen out with a friend, a relative, and all this. And I say to them all the time, I'm like, why are you letting that take up time in your life? You're getting angry at a situation that you can't control, so you're letting them or it rule your life. Channel that energy into something else and let that go.
Aye. It's a letting go part for it. It takes a lot for people to let go, especially if in our industry, if something's pissed somebody off, or somebody's not got something's not been done right, or somebody's not done something in time, it's like you're almost fucking, it's the end of the world until it's resolved. It's like, and then before you know it, everything's moving again, and that's been forgotten about, rather than just going and dealing with something a lot more simple. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you've always said, taking the person, speaking to them about what's going on, and then looking for a decent outcome, as opposed to just grilling somebody and fucking hoping that they're going to do something better.
Yeah, I used to get told off all the time for the way I used to run my sites. My contracts manager used to say to me, he says, you need to tell more people to fuck off. I'm like, I don't. I can speak to them how I want. And that lad I was telling you about before with the massive hands that we used to have to buy special gloves for, they were renowned for they were quality bricklayers. The gang, they were very, very good, but they knew how to play the game. They knew if I kick up a bit of a stink here, I can get a bit more money. And they were awkward because they knew how to play. But they were only ever awkward because of the way they were being treated. And then I was on this one job, and I had them doing a real awkward bit of work, putting back boxes in and all sorts of stuff, and I had them doing it on the price, so they were earning the money at it. And the contracts manager came on and went, how have you got them to do that? I went, because I told them to fuck off all the time. And he was like, saying it does work. And I went, no, I spoke to him like a human being, and look what you can achieve by speaking to somebody like a human being.
That's it. I mean, no matter fucking, you can like be the smartest man in the world, but we're all still human. You know what I mean? Like, human interactions. There's no point. You're not going to get it done. Well, some people do, but it's out of total fear. You know what I mean? Like grilling somebody that much that they're scared and they need to do it, as opposed to wanting to do it because the guy spoke to them properly. You know what I mean?
That's I can see. I'm just visioning them building at the roof. Right, ties up, mate. No, fuck him.
But it is that, and you get so much more out of people, whether it is in work or whether it's in life. You'll find that you'll get so much more out of people if you just speak to them like a human being.
It's leadership, innit? You might follow the leader, you don't want to be fucking like that. Do you know what I mean? You might listen to Quentin, be inspired by somebody and fucking actually want to work for them. And really, you know what I mean?
There's a difference between a boss and a leader.
100%.
Definitely, man.
I suppose, like on the army side of it, I bet there was people that you worked or you were stationed with, and you thought, I'd do anything for him.
1,000,000%.
And then there'd be other people that used to just, however they run it, you're like, this doesn't work for me, and I've got to go to war with him.
Aye. This country, you're like, I wouldn't go to the show with you, you fucking man. You know what I mean? If you let me fucking lie in the sandpit and a fucking cockpit beside you, dance to this fucking dough balls tune, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, he fucking has his life in it. He has his fucking life, you know what I mean?
Come up against adversity, man, and it's just how you fucking deal with it. It's the difference. And if you're getting the right tools and all, it's like you don't know something. You don't know how beneficial talking's going to be, right? Like something like this, but it's so good for you. Yeah. Nothing's taught like that. You know what I mean? So how are we supposed to know it? You know what I mean? And it's just. If one thing can come of doing all this, it's just paying it forward and getting the next person to then talk and all, and like.
And you don't realise. I think I'm now starting to realise from like conversations that you've said to me today, the ripple effect. I'm now understanding the importance of it. Yeah. That people are listening and they are doing. It's that quiet work that gets done without you even realising it's being done.
100%, 100%, man.
That's it, man.
As I've seen those sorts of folks in the trade, even folk in my family who are in construction, in my HP.
Well, I've got the wee leaflet up in the fucking the canteen in my site now, and it's just to see them. I don't see in the canteen. See the one with the barcode on it, same as the brick jackets, and that's just up right in the middle of the notice board in my canteen. And then my brick jackets are always about with the with the barcode facing out the way on the scaffold, because you get people that will maybe be quiet and
Yeah.
themselves, but they'll walk by and go, oh wait a minute, fucking scan that.
That's exactly why
You know
I
what
do
I
it.
mean? And I've not, mate, you can see people kind of maybe looking, and then they'll look at you, they'll look at and they'll kind of be looking away, and then
Yeah.
what's they say, that person's not in there, and when he's going down for a quick
Yeah.
pish like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and then that's all the help, all the bit of help they need, discreetly, like that,
Yeah.
for people that can't quite speak yet.
Yeah.
Off the back of that, they're going to talk eventually, but until they do that and realise there's other people there that are like, fuck man, who would have thought that three of us sitting here on this couch talking proper real stuff, know what I mean? Like, that's all somebody needs to change their whole fucking mind process in their life, really, know what I mean?
That is it.
There was that boy, remember the last tour you were on, last time you were up here and we met each other, and you were saying you were up and all the fucking dafties in the piece hut trying to be wise and
Yeah.
that, and then back to the van in the fucking car park and about to drive away and the boy ran out to the car park. I said, big man, I really need to get that today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's fucking...
That's it. That
Mate, it's carrying some weight, man.
Yeah.
It's carrying fucking proper weight.
Thank you.
It's going to, and it's, you can only see it getting massive now, man. Like, say, people are the stigma for a lot of guys, especially in the construction. Like, you've obviously aimed at solely the construction
Yeah, yeah.
industry, but not just that. People that are in our industry are taking stuff out for what you're doing there.
Yeah.
But you can see that. I don't know if it's just because I'm that like watching it and engrossed in it, but I don't think it is. Is that you can see the stigma being broke now. Like, there's people you wouldn't expect to be talking the way they're talking, fucking, and they are. You know what I mean? Like a few people you've had on the podcast, like just random guys sharing their feel. Like a couple of things you put in your story with other guys sharing their feelings, like the honest corner or something.
Yeah, Mike at Greenhawk Construction. Mike. We did a recording. His was another one of the audio failed. Anyway, but he's been very open and honest with his mental health for a long time. Like, he started his YouTube page because of his mental health. He's an electrician and he videos just what he's doing. And he did it to give him something to do in the evening through lockdowns, because he's like me, he worked all the way through it. And he started, and he's very, very open and honest about it. And he's going through some stuff at the minute. He's worried they might have a heart condition. And he's open and talking about it, and I can see it's getting to him. And I flicked him a message a couple of weeks ago. He's like, no, I'm all right, I've got all this going on. And he's now using his platform to sit in his van and talk about what he's going through and how he's beating it every single day. It's like he's put this week, he put on about don't hit the snooze button.
I seen that. That's one thing I pure clicked, and then this morning I hit the snooze button, man.
but it's those little, again, that's a little victory. It's those little victories that lead. Those little wins lead to a big victory. And people can be too. Trying to think, I'm getting tired now, so my head won't work. I'm trying to think where people can get distracted by the end goal, and they can be looking too far in the future and thinking that they need the big house, and they, like exactly like we said before, and it's celebrating those little victories and getting to. I mean, at the end of the day, what is the end goal?
I know.
Exactly.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. For me, it's all about enjoying the process. I used to live months and months and months in the future, and I used to think to myself, I'm doing this. The harder I worked, the things I used to say to me, right, the biggest thing used to go over and over in my head: harder I work today, less I have to do tomorrow. And all I'm doing is tricking myself there.
Then tomorrow you're doing the same.
Exactly. I'm never giving myself that break, or I never used to. Whereas now I can switch off, but I never used to be able to switch off. I'd be checking emails, I'd be doing whatever. I won't be taking any downtime. I'd be wanting to do more and more and more, because for me, I struggle with my own abilities. I can never see any good in the work I do, even this work. I struggle to see it. Whether it's a bricklaying, I think somebody can build that better. That's shit. That somebody can build that better. Or when I'm stood doing, or when I'm stood doing the talks and that, I'm like, somebody's got a more hard hitting story than me, or somebody's out there doing better work than I'm doing.
Monkey and the fucking shoulder,
Have you read that Chimp Brain?
I've not read it, but I've listened to a lot on the monkey mind. See, like the Buddhists talk about the monkey mind a lot. That wee fucking doubt, that wee bastard that just sits in the corner of your ear, got to the corner of your head, got, you're not good enough for that. Fucking take that down, rebuild that right now. You know what I mean? But
it's that, and it's like a struggle to take a compliment, because I'm so used to say, why have you done that? Or the voices, not that you fucking psychotic with
I
the
know what
voices,
you mean, mate, aye.
but that self-doubt inside, the self-saboteur is constantly going, oh shit, you can do better.
They say about there's a three voices in your mind. There's a book on it. I can't really remember it. And it's like there's a three voices. You know what I mean? And you need to pick the right one to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The self-doubt one's never right. And then there's the other two. There's the procrastinator, and then there's the fucking I'm doing this. You know what I mean? You need to follow the strong one every time. But it's easier said than done. And I think like it's just a learning process, and
it massively
as
is.
we go, we learn and we fucking slip. We'll go back and forth, but if you keep yourself with the kind of like the fundamentals and go for there, you're always going to get better. You know what I mean?
We all make mistakes. We learn from them, and it's never a mistake. It's a learning curve. It's only a mistake when you constantly you keep repeating it.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
I like to be hosting. See, now you're saying there about fucking the driver working all the time and all that. What was your drive? Like, was it money? Was it fucking...
What,
like, when
years ago? Yeah, absolutely.
Was it money?
Yeah, it was money. I wanted so I worked for a really successful guy. He was great, and I was like, I want to be like him. He's made it, I can make it. And I drove myself, I did the bigger jobs, and it cost me massively financially. I went bankrupt through it, and again, I used to, like, even after the bankruptcy and after going back to work and being released from it all and getting back on my feet, I used to hold a grudge. I used to hold that in there, and it used to steal energy from me. And I was on a random night out, and this guy speaking to an absolute randomer about it, and he was like, think of it as education. Me personally, it was the best part of 120 grand we lost, and
swallowed a bit of sick.
and he was like, that you've paid for an education.
Well, aye, because you'll never do that again.
Yeah. Camera's gone off again.
See, I try to...
It's because the partners roasting it.
I try to fucking play that charade in my head too. Oh, I didn't even know about business, didn't I? Oh, fuck it, I'm just paying to fucking learn the lesson and all that. Like, I kind of went through that again too.
You said that to me one time.
Aye. Whereas I think it was again something that you'd maybe said. It was something along the lines of, it's the sacrifices and do you want to make that? And see, my biggest drive's my fucking mains. Do you know what I mean? I'm not willing to sacrifice the early years of their life to run a big massive company to go and do that. I'm happy not just getting by, but I'm happy.
No, you're earning a good living, but you've still got your time for you
like,
and
I
your
need the
family.
flexibility. Whereas when I was running about my fucking heating fire and I'm like that, for what? For everybody else, to make sure they're alright, to make sure their fucking mortgage is paid, to make sure their mains are alright. What about fucking me and mine, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It goes back to that. It's so important. It's not selfish to be selfish.
Mate, 100%.
And
you can't, sorry mate,
well, I was just going to say, everybody needs to learn. I've certainly learned to look after me first, so I can be there for the people that
depend on me.
The old one
that they say, man, and I know you've probably heard this a million times, and them they watch you with them and all, but it's like when you're in a fucking aeroplane, innit? And put your mask on first before you can help anybody, or you're not going to be there to help anyone else. And it's the same thing. Look after yourself. Do the right things for you, and then use your healthy fucking self to help other people. You know what I mean? You can't. You know what I mean? You can't keep giving on an empty tank either. So you need to be there. You need to be doing the right things.
It was Rachel's fucking go-to, man. You can't pour for an empty cup.
That's it, mate. That's a belter, man.
It is. It's true. So true. Boys, we've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, lads.
I fucking
yes,
love these
boys. Class, boys. Yes.
I think that's a good place to end it there.
Definitely, man. And Rob, it's been a pleasure, mate, and it's fucking been brilliant to meet you in person eventually, man.
It's always a pleasure meeting people.
Just one there for the camera. Alright, I'm Andy. Fucking Bracknell.
I guess I'll do a formal exit because I've not done a formal introduction, but again, if there's anything that's been said on this podcast today, and I'm talking in that camera because I can't remember which one is on which one.
Just like that, mate.
Between the two, and I'll be sat editing this going, what a dick.
Sitting there with a lazy eye like that. Right, mate.
Is that why you wanted the sellotape to be like that? But if there's anything that we spoke about in this episode that does resonate with you, let us know in the comments below. And if you want us to talk about anything in another episode, but as always, thank you for listening. Look after yourself. Take it easy. I'll speak to us all very soon.
Bye, guys.
Cheers,
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.